our webinar today. May I kindly inform everyone that we'll be recording this session, which will then eventually will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, hosted by the Framework Program Unit for Xjenza Malta. So hope everyone is seeing my screen. So
Yes.
thank you. So just a forward about what Xjenza Malta and our unit does. So Xjenza Malta is tasked by the government of Malta to be the agency that takes care of science and research, which hosts also the Framework Program Unit tasked in managing Horizon Europe, which includes both the national contact points and the program committee members. So Horizon Europe in brief, just to give everyone a very brief introduction about Horizon Europe. It's a 93.5 billion worth of fund. It's the largest research and innovation program for the European Union for the years of 2021 to 2027. So Horizon Europe is divided into 3 different pillars. They are described in this slide here, and also has a widening aspect to it. In the following slide, we'll be seeing more how it's divided into. So we're seeing that there is the clusters in Pillar 2. Then we have Pillar 3, which involves support to SMEs and people who are doing innovative research in that area and taking their technology to the market. And in Pillar 1, helping researchers to fund breakthrough innovative technologies, taking them up to the level of Nobel Prize worth research. And then we have the widening aspect, which will help countries and, of course, organizations and researchers coming from widening countries such as Malta to help them tap into this program. So when you're seeing actions for Horizon Europe, especially for Pillar 2, and also for the missions, you will see these 3 main different actions, which are the research innovative actions that coordinated support actions, which the difference between these 3 is the TRL levels for which they cater for, and also the funding rate for the private organizations. Those coming from public entities such as local councils and the regional authorities, they get 100% funding both in all 3 of these actions, whereas the private sector will get only 70% funding in innovative actions. On top of this funding, you will get also a 25% indirect cost, which will help support the organization in those indirect costs allocated for the running of the project. To participate in this program, you are required to be an organization, and you have to be one of the 3 members of the project, a consortium, which comes from the European member states or those countries which are associated to the program. It's important that, irrespective of the amount of organizations within the organization, if there are more than 1 organizations coming from one particular country, that is considered as one. So we need to have 3 countries supported joining part of your consortium. Of course, you have to be a legal entity, and being a legal entity gives you the possibility of having a PIC number. This is important because once you start submitting your proposal and eventually coming up for the grant agreement, you are required to have a PIC number. And for public bodies and public entities, you are required to also have a gender equality plan. Here you have links to who are the associated members and member states for those who might not know. These are all eligible to be part of your consortia. And this is a small slide regarding the TRL levels, explaining what TRL levels are. So it explains them as being the technology readiness level. It starts from having an idea that starts at TRL level 1, whereby an idea comes to a researcher and then developing something innovative. And eventually it takes up to a TRL level 9, whereby that technology is now ready for the market that can start to reap profits. In the meantime, from 2 up till 8, it takes you through the journey for the development of that particular research, take it into consideration all the aspects of research that is required to develop that innovative idea. So we as national contact points offer support in partner searches, dedicated workshops and training, personalized support during application and project implementation stage when this is required by a particular partner. We offer also support through national schemes. We do consultations on one-to-one level and also help you in your proposal writing, whereby we see yours. If you want to share your proposal with us, we can identify any markers which would need to be improved. This is the team. We are a team of 8 people from the national coordinator and the administrator, covering all aspects of Horizon Europe. So as framework program unit, we identified 5 schemes which could be of help for local stakeholders to participate in Horizon Europe. And these are the HIPAS, the PF2MT, the IC support scheme, the EIC support scheme, and the Net2HE. And this is more an idea of the schemes and further details about what they support. So we have the EIC support scheme, which helps participants to join the accelerator, the pathfinder, and also the transition, having the respective allocations accordingly. PF2MT helps with the mobility of researchers from other countries to come over and do their research in Malta. So we offer their support over there. Then we have the Net2HE, whereby Maltese participants coming from Maltese organization are given the opportunity to travel for networking events for Horizon Europe on the continental Europe. HIPAS, which offers support for coordinators, for Maltese coordinators in writing their identifying someone, an organization, to help them write their proposal. And in addition, we also have, since we are a widening country, through a project from Widera, the wideraexperts.eu. This is not a scheme, this is an opportunity for widening countries, whereby coordinators and work package leaders are given the opportunity to have their proposals reviewed for free by this project, and these evaluators will give you an idea of how your proposal will do before this is submitted on the funding and tenders portal. Now we move on to the missions. So the missions, Horizon Europe had identified from the Commission 5 missions which would help Europe propel the European society towards 2030 by identifying key sectors which required improvement. So the European Union identified the adaptation to climate change, cancer, ocean waters, cities, the climate neutral smart cities, and the soil as sectors which required improvement to ensure that future generations have a better environment than what we found. The idea of these missions is like having had been inspired from the space exploration project of the United States, whereby sort of you put a target of having people on the moon, and eventually society together with the citizens and stakeholders in their respective areas together they brings together key stakeholders to deliver on those promises. The objectives are to address societal challenges and to bring together all those stakeholders coming from private, public, academia together and collaborate on finding solutions to improve these societal challenges. The missions are offered funding via Pillar 2 through the clusters. Each cluster has a portion of their budget which is allocated to support the respective missions, which are identified according to the cluster according to their key to those key missions. And now we will be diving into the climate neutral and smart cities. So the mission climate neutral and smart cities as its main was developed because the European Union identified that even though cities cover 4% of the total landmass in Europe, this hosts 75% of the citizens. And also these cities emit 70% of the carbon neutral carbon CO2 emissions, and also consume 65% of the energy. With these in mind, the mission was tasked to help support cities to drive urban action, to accelerate green and digital transformation in order to achieve climate mitigation. This in order to ensure that the cities will be the catalyst for the reduction of climate greenhouse gases and support them also towards the Green Deal, which the cities are obliged to follow. So the mission had back when it started identified key aims, which these included at delivering of 100 climate neutral and smart cities, and ensure that these be pioneers which will help other cities move in their footsteps. In total, the mission managed to identify and collaborate with 112 cities, which were tasked as mission cities, and these were offered support to Rider Climate City contracts, which serves as sort of like business plans for the cities to follow of projects that they would be doing towards carbon neutrality. These cities which got the climate city contracts, 92 of which got the mission label, and these are listed in this slide, covering a wide area of countries in Europe and also some of the associated members. And apart from this, also the mission, together with the other missions, they have a work program which they follow on year-to-year basis. And here we have some ideas of the topics that are currently open for submission, which will be closing, which have to be submitted by the 4th of September. So here you have two, which approximately are having about between 8 million per project, between 6 to 8 million per project, covering areas in climate circularity, in climate mitigation and upping circularity industrial sites, whereas in the other one, you're having AI-based solution for urban planning and management. We move forward, we have further two topics, one of which is a synergy between the cancer mission and the cities mission, which takes funding from both missions and is offering a 6 million project for funding 2 projects in total. And this will help in providing solutions to cities for active mobility to address cancer patients. So how to see how these projects could lead into mobility, active mobility by the citizens, and see whether this would reap any health benefits for those making use of that infrastructure. This also closed on the 4th of September. And then there is also a new type of action, which is a PCP, a public procurement, pre-commercial procurement, which will help cities to identify innovative technology that they could implement according to the topic in their areas. This topic closes on the 19th of January of 2026. And here you have a link taking you directly to those specific topics. So the national contact points for the missions also offer support through a project called NCP for Missions, and they have a brokerage website currently open, which participants could use, and they could find partners for their topics, specifically for these topics that I've shared with you just now. And moving forward, there are other funding opportunities available for the cities. This is the Driving Urban Transitions, which will be having a call open further in this month, in July, and closing in September. There is also a link taking you for further information. The idea is to offer 9 different topics for the various partners to obtain funding from this particular project. And then we have the CCAP tool, which is a project who developed this tool that helps cities in being owners of their energy climate plans. So they develop these plans instead of subcontracting third parties in writing their plans and managing it for them. They identify key areas that they need to address, and it gives them the opportunity to be the city itself, the leader and the manager of, and also the writer of these plans. So this is a contact for anyone who would like to get in touch with me. And of course, and here you have the links taking you directly to the various areas which we cover both on our socials. Now I give the floor to Melin, who will be giving us insights into what the NetZeroCities project has to offer for participants coming from cities and regions. Thank you, Melin.
Thank you very much, Frankie. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we do.
Hi, everyone. Thanks a lot for the invitation and for this time. I met Tamara like a couple of months ago in Vilnius in the Cities Mission Conference. And she said that she was very interested in learning about the peer learning opportunities that we have for all European cities. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here as well with my colleague Abigail. So I'm just going to share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we're seeing your screen, but you need to put it on the actual slide.
Can you see it now in a presentation mode?
Yes, we're seeing it in presentation mode.
Super. So indeed, I work at EuroCities for the NetZeroCities platform, which is the platform that supports the mission cities, one of the missions that Frankie just presented, which is the 112 climate neutral and smart cities mission. For today, I just prepared an overview of NetZeroCities, of our peer learning opportunities, some practical information, and you can always interrupt me and ask as many questions as you wish. I will share the slides afterwards with the links and all the information available for you to apply and to sign up. Just to start with, NetZeroCities, the platform that I work for, supports the 112 mission cities that are aiming for climate neutrality by 2030. It has 2 objectives. The first one, as I said, is to support these cities, but the second one is to expand the learnings from the 112 cities beyond the cities to enable that all European cities also follow their learnings of climate neutrality that are aiming by 2050. So it's a slightly longer term of ambition rather than 2030 by 2050. But we know that there are many European cities that are also aiming for this. In terms of the way that the mission cities implement their climate actions, it's slightly different because it's not just project-based, but rather a systemic transformation portfolio of actions. As you can see, it tackles different sectors that are relevant in climate action, such as mobility, buildings, energy, industry, while also includes all the levers that are involved as part of the system, such as governance, regulation, social innovation, citizen engagement, stakeholder engagement, technology, finance, which is very, very important, capacity building, and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Before I start with the main peer learning program that I was here to present, I will also share the shorter version of it that is currently also open for all cities to register by 15th of September. It's not an application process, it's simply a registration process. And basically right now, we have this opportunity open for all cities that are implementing climate actions and are willing to learn from the mission cities in an online format. Okay, this is only online format exchanges in webinars, thematic sessions over the period of 6 months. And the cities that sign up, they can join as many sessions as they wish. You are not obliged to join all the sessions necessarily. So the idea is to bring an online space where mission cities will present their climate actions in these different sectors and different systemic levels of change that I explained earlier. It's also to give you the opportunity to join the NetZeroCities portal online space, which is full of knowledge resources, dedicated groups that you can join and exchange with other cities that are similar to your cities. You can also receive technical support from our experts. I don't know, for example, if your city is struggling with cooling, district cooling, sustainable strategies, maybe this is an area that you would like to explore more in terms of technical challenges. And last but not least, those cities that join this online format are eligible to apply for the group study visits with all the travel costs covered from our side. It's a 2.5-day visit to get a first-hand understanding of those climate actions that were presented in online format in the previous 6 months in the mission cities. So right now, this is the second cohort. We already had the first cohort last year, which was very successful with 170 participants. And this year we are launching it in September and it will last until February. And as I said, you can join as many sessions as you wish. The registration is by the 15th of September. And then we have 9 mission cities that will be presenting their different climate actions in these different sectors. So you can see the individual climate actions that will be presented on the left, whereas on the right is the 4 online thematic groups that we will launch with these topics. So it's innovative financing presented by Florence and Malmo, decarbonizing the energy sector and district heating led by Pech, Lund and Espoo, the built environment, which will include also circular construction and building renovation, where Helsinki and Oslo will present their climate actions. And last but not least, we will have the citizen engagement and behavioral change group with Helsingborg and Grenoble Metropole. And the second peer learning opportunity that I wanted to present is our flagship program, which is the so-called Twinning Learning Program. It's currently open as well, and the application deadline is by 12th of September. So the Twinning Learning Program is slightly more in-depth and longer term than the first program that I just presented, because here we want, let's say, much more thorough and in-depth peer learning and capacity building program between mission cities and mission-minded cities that will apply. And if they are successful, they become twin cities. It's a two-way learning approach, whereas the twin cities also share their learnings with the mission cities. They will focus around specific concrete areas of climate actions that you are interested based on your climate challenges and also the opportunities that your city has. So yeah, basically it's a way of pairing both cities together based on similarities and learning areas of interest that you will express in the application form. As I said, it's to build also long-lasting collaboration between the mission cities and twin cities. And it's very practical because you will learn both in online workshops, but also in site visits with the travel costs covered by our budget. Right now, we have already 180 cities that are part of the twinning learning program. So if you apply and you are successful, you will join the largest peer learning initiative that is part of this city's mission. Right now, the mission cities that are part of this call are 19. As you can see in the screen, we have Aachen, Bristol, Bucharest, Dunkirk, Eindhoven, Helmond, Elbasan, Gabrovo, Guimarães, Ioannina, Kozani, Liberec, Padova, Reykjavik, Sarajevo, Sofia, Stockholm, Torino, Umea, and Warsaw. We don't have Gozo, which is our only Maltese mission city, but yes, you have all this variety of European cities to learn from. The expression of interest to apply for the current call, as I said, it's open, and it's open until the 12th of September. How does the evaluation and selection of twin cities work? First, we check the eligibility criteria. If you apply to be eligible, you need to be a city from EU member state or Horizon European Associated Country, which is your case. You are part of an EU member state country. Then you need to demonstrate that you have a climate neutrality commitment by 2050, that you have the capacity to follow the program, and that you assign 2 city representatives as the contact persons. These city representatives don't necessarily need to be from the municipality, but they can be mandated by the municipality. For example, if your city is interested in learning about waste management and you mandate the waste agency of your city to be part of this program, it's totally fine, okay? So it doesn't need to be a municipal staff per se. In stage 2, after the eligibility check, we evaluate the motivation and justification of the applicant cities to understand, whereas the choices that you made to be paired with, I don't know, Aachen, Umea, or Gabrovo, if they make sense based on your own city climate priorities. So it's more about the justification and the motivation rather than the level of ambition of the city. This is very important. Then we move to stage 3, which is where we will do the strategic selection and pairing of the cities based on the quality ranking, as I said, and the alignment between the learning objectives and also what you can offer as good practices and that the mission cities can learn back from you. Then, last but not least, we proceed to validation, which is where the European Commission, which is also part of this process, will provide a final approval, and the application will be announced, will be communicated in October to all the applicant cities. These are the key dates. As you can see, from November 2025 until November 2026, the learning program will be running with the online workshops and the 2 in-person visits facilitated by NetZeroCities Consortium. And these are some of the key dates that you can see in the screen between now and the closing of the call. We also have info sessions available where my colleagues are presenting exactly the same as I'm doing now. But I wanted to join this dedicated group of cities from Malta because we have a lack of cities from Malta in the program. So we very much welcome your applications as well. As you can see, the program that will run for 12 months in the screen is divided in 3 modules. And let's say each module has between 1 or 2 online workshops. And from module 2 onwards, we have the site visits as well. In Module 2, there will be one site visit, and in Module 3, a second site visit. The outcome of each module is explained in the Learning How handbook with all the templates provided by us. And also the facilitator will guide you through the entire learning program. This is something very important. One of us will guide you throughout the whole learning program. Make sure that you meet your mission cities online and also in person, that it's everything facilitated. And the final outcome of the program is the replication plan, which is where the twin cities will outline what are the actions that they learned back from the mission cities and that they will adapt in their own local context. What are you committing to as a twin city? Voluntarily committing to this 12 months learning program. There is no binding agreement because this is a voluntary program. It's up to us, the program managers and designers, to make sure that you have an attractive program that is of interest for your city and that you can really learn something from this. You will actively participate in the program as part of this voluntary commitment. Also host your mission city once and travel to the mission city also once. Prepare and submit the requested deliverables from each module following the template that we provide, and also follow whatever the facilitator provides as guidelines and instructions. As I said, the replication plan is the key outcome of the program, and you will get access to the expert facilitation, structured partnerships, targeted feedback, on-site visits, and access to practical tools. In terms of budget that we provide, it's more for traveling. We do not provide extra grants or extra budget beyond what is allocated for travel. We cover the travel costs of 2 representatives from the Twin City of around 900 euros based on the European Commission distance calculator. This covers the travel, accommodation, subsistence costs, and also the hosting. When it comes to hosting your mission city representatives and facilitator, we will also cover these costs. These are indicative amounts, so we can always be flexible and go slightly beyond the threshold if everything is justified. And just to share some snapshots of the site visits from the first cohort, which concluded in May this year. So yeah, just to show you that the site visits are the most appreciated moment of the entire program. This is when finally the city representatives meet each other. And you can see that these are large delegations of city representatives. Even if we cover 2 per city, the cities always travel with more than 2 city representatives. And also the host mission city always involves the different departments that are part of their climate commitments. One last slide to tell you that 97% of the cities recommend the twinning program to other cities. And yes, we are very excited about this and also to receive applications from your cities.